What does the Bible say about clouds? Clouds, cloud, Bible, PDF, quiz. What does the Bible say about clouds? The Bible speaks often of clouds, both as a physical phenomenon and a symbol of something greater. Clouds are mentioned over 100 times in the Bible and are used as a symbol of God's presence, God's protection, and God's power. In the Old Testament, clouds are often associated with God's glory and majesty. For example, in Exodus 19:9, God appears in a cloud on Mount Sinai. In Psalm 104:3, God's chariot is said to ride upon the clouds. In the New Testament, clouds are also used to refer to the coming of Jesus in glory. In Matthew 24:30, it is written, "And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." Clouds are thus seen as powerful symbols of God's presence and power and are used throughout the Bible to remind us of God's sovereignty. What does the Bible say about clouds? The Bible is full of references to clouds, from the first day of creation when God created the sky and filled it with clouds to the prophecies of Jesus' ascension into heaven on a cloud. The Bible also speaks of clouds as a sign of God's glory and presence, a symbol of His faithfulness and care, and a reminder of the day of judgment. In this blog, we'll take a closer look at what the Bible says about clouds and their significance in the life of a believer. What does the Bible say about clouds? When it comes to clouds, the Bible mentions them in both the Old and New Testaments. The Bible speaks of clouds in a variety of ways, from the clouds of God's glory to the clouds of judgment. Clouds are also used to represent God's presence, His faithfulness, and His care for His people. The Bible mentions clouds in both the Old and New Testaments. In the Old Testament, clouds are mentioned in the stories of creation in Genesis, the Exodus in Exodus, the giving of the law in Leviticus, and the return of the exiles in Isaiah. In the New Testament, clouds are mentioned in the stories of Jesus' ascension into heaven in Acts and the day of judgment in Revelation. Hebrew words, symbols, that translate clouds, cloud, midst, anon, meaning cloud. This is the most common Hebrew word used to describe clouds. It is used to refer to a single cloud or a group of clouds, and is also used figuratively to refer to a state of confusion. Anim. This is the plural form of anon, and is used to refer to multiple clouds. Hebel, this Hebrew word translates to midst or in the midst, and is used to describe a position or location in the middle of a group or crowd. Abar, this Hebrew word translates to cloud and is often used to refer to thick or dense clouds. It can also be used to refer to a state of confusion or darkness. Greek words, symbols, that translate clouds, cloud, midst nephili, nu epsilon phi epsilon lambda eta. This Greek word translates to cloud and is derived from the root words nephos, cloud, and alan, oil. Nephelikakigia, nu epsilon phi epsilon lambda omicron kappa kappa upsilon gamma alpha. This Greek word translates to midst of clouds and is derived from the root words nephos, cloud, and kakigia, the center. Nepheli, nu epsilon phi lambda alpha iota. This Greek word translates to clouds and is derived from the root word nephos, cloud. Aramaic words, symbols, that translate clouds, cloud, midst, upon. This is an Aramaic word meaning clouds. Enane, this is an Aramaic word meaning cloud. Bekarav, this is an Aramaic word meaning midst. Machuk, this is an Aramaic word meaning from the midst of. The biblical meaning of clouds in the English Bible. The Bible often uses clouds to represent God's glory, His presence, His faithfulness, and His care. In the Old Testament, clouds are often associated with God's glory, His protection, and His judgment. In the New Testament, clouds are associated with Jesus' ascension into heaven and the day of judgment. Clouds is a sign of God's glory in the Bible. In the Old Testament, clouds are often used to represent God's glory. This is evident in the creation story of Genesis, when God filled the sky with clouds. In Exodus, when God led the Israelites out of Egypt, a cloud was the sign of His presence. In Isaiah, the return of the exiles is accompanied by the clouds of God's glory. Pillar of cloud. This is a type of cloud formation that appears as a tall, thin column reaching up from the ground. It is said to be a sign of God's presence and a sign of protection. Glory cloud. This cloud is usually seen when God's glory is revealed, such as during the transfiguration of Jesus. It appears as a bright, luminous cloud. Cloud of heaven. This type of cloud is said to be a place where God dwells. It's described in the Bible as a place of glory and power. Cloud of glory. This cloud is said to be a sign of God's presence and blessing. It's often seen when God's presence is revealed, such as during the exodus of the Israelites. Cloud of fire. This cloud is usually seen when God's wrath is revealed. It's described in the Bible as a burning cloud of wrath. Cloud of smoke. This type of cloud is said to be a sign of God's presence and protection. It's often seen when God's presence is revealed, such as during the giving of the Ten Commandments. Cloud of witness. This cloud is said to be a sign of God's presence and a witness of His power. It's often seen during miraculous events, such as God's protection of the Israelites from the Egyptians. Cloud of protection. This cloud is said to be a sign of God's presence and protection. Father, grandfather, minister, missionary, deacon, elder, author, welcome to our family. View all posts.